I bought this so you didn't have to. The cheapest Range Rover in the country and maybe even the world. So you may ask, why is this the cheapest Range Rover in the world? Well, it might be because it doesn't start. Oh wait, it does. So what else could be wrong? Is it that the gearbox doesn't work? Oh, it's not that. Is it that there's a noisy engine? That engine sounds spot on. So if it's not that, what could it be? That might answer our question. Air suspension inactive. So this is the problem. The air suspension. The air suspension on this is controlled by a compressor, and it means that all these four corners have lines running to them. But as you can see, on the front two lines, they're down. And my hope is that that is a simple issue with a little box. I don't know what it's called, but it's a little box that sits up and underneath here. Oh, there's a little dent there. That's the first dent I've seen. That's a shame. And it controls the two, and I think that that might have just worn out and it might have failed. So that's gonna have to be fixed for the MOT. And then there's a few other little bits, but that was just wipers and lights and stuff like that. So welcome to the channel, the Range Rover Vogue. It's a 2003 plate, a 53 plate. Same thing pretty much. It's done 152,000 miles, so not that many in 20 years. It's pretty good nick. It's in this kind of blue. My granddad called it an Oxford blue. It might well be an Oxford blue. The L322 era. It's a great looking thing. I've only driven it like just to turn it around and in here after it was delivered. And it's actually just a nice drive to be up in. I'm used to cars that are a little bit lower, so it is nice to be in this. The interior is lovely. The kind of cream interior really goes well against this kind of dark navy blue. All the tyres are pretty good nick, as are pretty much everything else on the car. A couple of little bits and bobs here and there, but we're going to fix those, and then we're going to try and get this MOT'd, and then we're going to move it on. Eden Project membership, he even put it on his car. He must have been a cool dude. That means he must have been fairly local too, because that's just down the road. A few little bits here, and then the same up here. And it's always funny, isn't it? Because whenever I'm looking at cars and the kind of cars that I buy, they tend to be like here. This is a good like 6 foot tall, and I love that. And that's with the suspension down on the front, all these like wood pieces. I don't know if they're real wood. I don't really know my woods. The seats are lovely, the interior is lovely. Overall, it seems to be in fairly good nick. Just needs a good clean up, suspension done, etc. And go from there. It's got a split fold, which is awesome. Never had this on a car, so we can split it like that. And this car does look like they've either had a dog or they steal people, because that is a big clump of hair right there. So that needs to be cleaned up. We're getting a bit of moisture in this light, and it's kind of starting to build up in here. So we need to sort that out as well before sale. And so that is your introduction to the cheapest Range Rover in the UK and possibly the world. To be fair, I think it's quite a good buy. I can't see it being too much money, hopefully, to sort these things, as long as that air suspension is the fault that I think it is. Give it a bit of a clean up as well after doing that, and then we can move it on. So if you want to be part of that journey, please do hit the subscribe button below. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, and if we could hit that by Christmas, that would be absolutely brilliant. That's my goal, so please make that happen, as we're around 950, so we've got just under a month and we get to 1,000 subscribers, and that would be a brilliant milestone to hit for Christmas. Please do join me on that journey by hitting that subscribe button. We can look more into this car. I've also got another car over there. In my last video, I did talk about my XJS V12 that I picked up over a year ago. That car is not that. That is another car that I bought 3 days before buying this one. For some reason, I just can't turn down a bargain. And so now that we're at the end of the video, I'm going to ask you, how much do you think this Range Rover cost me? Do you think a couple of grand, 1,500 quid, maybe a grand? No, maybe even nearly half of that. £650, and I think that's an absolute bargain for this Range Rover, and I think it's going to be a great project and a great buy. See you in the next video.